it's Sarah from Sarah's Art Life, and the season is changing, so I thought I'd teach you how to do another postcard for a friend. We're still in isolation for the most part, taking care not to catch COVID-19. So yesterday we had a nice windy beginning of autumn kind of day, and I went out and walked around and collected a few things in the forest. I'm the only grown-up out there with a paper bag picking up leaves and seeds, I noticed, but I think it's always okay to be a kid. When we lose that, we lose something very special in our lives. I have, however, graduated from ironing my leaves between two pieces of wax paper with crayons. Do you guys remember doing that at some point in your lives? If you haven't done it, it is fun. You should try it. And I wouldn't rule it out as an art form. But today we'll work on postcards. I also wanted to show you how to use watercolor pencils, one of my favorite mediums for creating art, because it combines the element of control, which I love, a bit controlling maybe, with the serendipity of watercolor. So I'm going to work on this sweet gum leaf. That's what that is. We will not use the sweet gum seed for this demonstration, but that's a sweet gum seed. I see these trees around a lot of the grocery stores in the Pacific Northwest. They're very pretty and ornamental. I also picked up a lovely cottonwood leaf, and I might be one of the few people who loves cottonwoods because I love their smell. I did want to point out on the cottonwood leaf something that's important to observe about leaves, which is their vein pattern. Some of them are matching and some of them are alternating on any given leaf, and it's important to look closely at what we're about to draw and to keep looking as we draw, because our eyes will fill in things or our minds will fill in things that we're not looking at with our eyes. This makes things look unrealistic. So we have this single vein that goes to the tip of the leaf. The veinage to the sides matches at the base of this leaf. And as we go toward the tip of the leaf, the veins alternate. So just something to keep in mind. The veinage on this sweet gum leaf is not quite as prominent, but we're going to take a look at it anyway. We see that it all seems to start at the base. There's smaller veins, but we're not going to get into that level of detail today. Just remember to look at what you're about to draw. All right, so I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to grab my watercolor paper, which I bought at Art and Happiness in Bellingham. They're a great little store, just opened this summer. They've been around a bit longer than that, though. And I got the paper, and I got these hair and skin tone colored pencils there. They sell a lot of card making supplies, and now it seems they're expanding their supply of art supplies as well, because making cards can be a real art. I also have some pencils that I bought at the art supply store, open stock, meaning I picked each one out separately. I love getting a kit like this one to start out. They show me some great colors that go well together, but then I find out what I really use all the time, and I buy more of them so that they're always in stock or on hand. All right, I'm going to do a quick sketch of this leaf so that I know what it's going to look like. I'm going to start with the veinage so that I can see the direction of the leaves. Again, a little bit controlling here. Here is my stem. All right, that's a little wide, but I'll fix that when I color. Here is a vein that goes up the center, and it's not straight because things in nature are not perfectly straight and they're not perfectly symmetrical. Occasionally you'll find that thing that looks so wonderfully symmetrical, and if you were to paint it, you might think, that doesn't look very realistic. All right, so now that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 veinage matching the main veins in the leaf, I'm going to draw the edges of the leaf. And my eyes are following. And hopefully it looks kind of close. Hopefully my hand is doing what my eyes are seeing and what my brain is telling it to do. That is not always the case. Have you ever had that happen to you? Okay. All right, so now we have a shape. Not symmetrical, not perfect, but it is the shape of the sweet gum leaf. All right, I'm going to start with coloring the edges with a bit more pigment because it gets dark at the edges, light in the center, and when you mix the water with the watercolor pencil, it becomes diffuse, and the darker areas will be where the pencil was concentrated. I'm going to use my yellows. This yellow, this gold, sunburst yellow is a pretty good one. And I'll be using another yellow. I'll probably grab a red. I might even use a magenta, because when the magenta mixes with the yellow, and I'll see which one of these pencils fits in there as well. They're softer and more muted and might add a really nice softness to the drawing. All right, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to speed up the film so we can go through this pretty quickly. Okay, so this is my leaf without the watercolor, without the water on the watercolor pencil, and you can see that. You could always leave a drawing finished like this, but we're using watercolor pencil today. So I've got my water here. I'm going to use my number 8 brush, and I'm going to try to control it. It's got a nice straight tip, and I'm going to speed the film up once again. Okay, you see I've done the edges. Now I'm going to do the center. The leaf is just about finished. I'm going to let the water dry, and I'm going to add a little bit of green veinage right along the main veins, because I don't know if you can see it, but there's still a little bit of green on here, plus it'll add a nice contrast. Okay, we're back. I'm back, and this is dried. And the reason why I wanted to dry is I'd like to show you something. When I take a watercolor pencil, let me get one that'll show up really well here on the paper, and I draw with it, right, it looks like colored pencil. When I add my water to it, it looks like watercolor, which is fantastic. We know this. When I take my water to the paper first and I draw on this, it looks like a marker. It's very hard looking, and it doesn't look as much like watercolor. That is certainly a great look, but it's not what I want for this, so I'm going to make sure that this is dry, and I'm going to take my green veinage pencil, and I'm just going to go over the veins a little bit. It also gets rid of some of the graphite look. All right, and now I will add my water after the fact. If I feel like they're too linear, I can always brush that away a little bit. All right, very subtle. This is my finished leaf postcard. Very easy for you to do at home, very fun with the kids. Lots of art supply stores around, but I am enjoying Art and Happiness in Bellingham. Thank you so much for being here. Send a postcard to someone, support the USPS, support your local businesses, and we'll see you soon. Bye.